But first, it's gooey, it's golden, and it tastes gorgeous.
Honey isn't just delicious on pancakes. You hear a lot about other properties that actually can heal you, which I want to find out more about.
And there's one honey that claims to be especially good for you.
Hi there, I've just got a bit of a bee in my bonnet about Manuka honey. I can't really work out what the Manuka bit is.
Me and you both. I've never even heard of it, you know. But you know what? I'm going to have a look for you.
No idea.
Non-peroxide activity is the property that makes Manuka honey unique.
So it's got lots of qualifications, isn't it?
It's got a bloody degree, I think.
Why is it good for me? Is it the Manuka bit? Because if so, I want some of that Manuka.
I thought about if I could rub it on myself, but I don't know if that's a good idea.
No, but pretty sticky.
Oh, well, yeah. I'll best keep it on the toast.
Most of us believe it's doing us good. But how? To find out, I'm heading to Glasgow. I've got a doctor's appointment with a surgeon who's been administrating Manuka honey for over 5 years.
Hi, you Patrick?
I am indeed. Good to meet you.
Yeah, good to meet you.
Dr. Patrick Pollock has proof of the power of Manuka, and today he's using it on an unusual patient.
So we're going to have to get your hands cleaned up, mask on,
Right.
and into a gown.
And here for the special treatment is Merlin, a 5-month-old foal who suffered a serious injury to one of the joints in his leg.
The worry is the fact we've got infected tissue here, and if the infection gets into the joint, that's an emergency.
Patrick is a specialist equine surgeon who has published research into the benefits of honey. He has successfully treated hundreds of horses using Manuka.
We've taken that dead bone away. Having said that, the wound's still infected because we can't remove all the bacteria. There's millions of them in the wound, essentially.
So what are you going to put on it?
So we're going to put some honey onto it.
Fascinating. It's just not the honey that you use to put on your toast. You didn't bring it from home, did you?
I didn't bring it from home. No, I didn't. It's medical-grade Manuka honey.
So medical grade?
Medical grade means that it's been sterilised.
It's just almost thick-set honey.
The honey, just stick it down into that wound like that. And
that fills that cavity as well?
fills the cavity beautifully, yeah.
A big dollop of honey. So what is it about honey that's so special? Why are you using honey to treat wounds?
We know it very, very effectively inhibits the growth of the bacteria which are in the wound. Honey is actually having a direct effect on the wound healing.
Fascinating.
The honey dressing will be changed every few days, and Merlin is expected to make a full recovery.
Is it possible to get a closer look at the honey and maybe have a little taste?
Absolutely, no problem.
Let's do it. Oh, my Lord, look at that.
There you go.
So this is medical grade Manuka honey?
Yeah.
Smells like honey? Oh, it's maybe a little horse. Tastes like honey?
Yeah, absolutely.
So Manuka does have some healing properties. But the question is, how does it work? I'm in Nottinghamshire to get the lowdown on the science.
I'm here to see a Mark Allett.
Okay, not a problem.
Haven't got any bees, have you? Hi, Mark, I'm Jim.
Nice to meet you.
Mark's company produce a wide range of medical dressings containing Manuka honey, and he's supplying hospitals to treat the likes of you and I.
Look at that, it looks like a bit of white toast with honey on.
The dressings are being used in the fight against the MRSA bug, Staph aureus, which can cause life-threatening infections if it manages to get into an open wound.
This is the control plate, so this has got complete growth of Staph aureus.
So that is absolutely chock-a-block with the bug.
Correct. This one here has been treated with pure medical grade Manuka honey. So it creates this ring around here. All that area within that ring, the honey has killed.
So you can see it where the bug's been killed off and it's left that imprint there.
Absolutely.
Wow, that's incredible. And what are the other ones here then?
The other ones are different types of honey that you could buy in a supermarket.
And you can see they've all had some effect on the bacteria, haven't they?
All honeys will kill bugs.
Right.
But the beauty about Manuka honey is it will prevent the regrowth of that bug. And that's the big difference between medical grade honey and a food honey.
So you can't just slap any old honey on a wound.
Absolutely not.
In fact, most supermarket honeys contain natural bacteria that could be harmful to an open wound. Only sterile medical grade Manuka does the trick.
So honey's back as a medicine.
Honey's back as a modern wound care dressing.
Later, I meet the bees who put the magic into Manuka.
I can't stand up.
Next up, Caviar. These salty fish eggs have always been the canapé of choice for the super rich. But now these little black eggs are flying off the supermarket shelves for a couple of quid. So what's the catch?
Is your caviar, is it the same as the expensive stuff?
I wouldn't have thought so.
How on earth do you do it? It's so cheap. It's £1.49. Right, so what, you think they've managed to get loads of it all at once?
Yeah, and it's so much of it they can afford to try and sell it cheap by unit price kind of thing.
What the difference is between the high-end market and the lower-end market, I honestly couldn't tell you.
To fish out the truth about caviar, I'm sending Kate along to a seafood restaurant that has its own exclusive caviar menu.
Hello. Morning.
Welcome.
Lucy?
Yes, hi, nice to meet you.
Okay.
Lucy Chilvers is the manager and is crazy about caviar.
So this stuff,
Yes.
at a couple of quid a pot, is it real caviar?
It is real caviar by definition because it is the salted roe of the fish, but any connoisseur or any caviar snob would be quite upset at me saying it is. What you've brought in for me today is a lumpfish caviar. I think you've got a picture of it just here.
Why are we looking at a photo of it? You don't have it here, you don't sell lumpfish.
It's actually called a lump sucker. You don't normally buy the lump sucker to eat. It's caught just for, really, it's caviar. There's millions of lumpfish swimming around in the sea.
Okay, so this is £1.49 or a couple of quid a pot.
Yeah.
What about the really expensive stuff?
For sort of connoisseurs, caviar is eggs from the sturgeon, not just from any old fish.
Is there a difference in taste?
Oh, yes.
Amazing. Can we try some?
Of course. This is the lumpfish caviar, which is the ugly fish. The best way to try it is just off the hand.
Ooh, salty.
So this is the beluga, the most expensive caviar that you can buy. Bigger eggs, lighter in colour.
How much is this pot?
About £120.
£120? No way, for 10 grams.
Yeah.
So 120
Sorry about that.
Nick.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably looking at about a quid an egg, really, aren't you?
Yeah.
Okay, that is entirely different. Now, why is it that eggs from a sturgeon are monumentally more expensive than eggs from a lumpfish?
This is a kind of an investment fish. The sturgeon doesn't reach sexual maturity until about 8 years old. So you've got to wait to 8 years old before you can even take the eggs from it. For beluga sturgeon, it's sort of 16 to 17 years old where they reach sexual maturity.
So it's all essentially down to puberty. I mean, these guys...
Basically, yeah.
Okay, so if I want to go and find a sturgeon with some of these inside it, where do I go?
You've got to go to a farm.
If it was only that simple.
Now, I meant to meet a guy called Ken, and he's given me some quite cryptic directions. No postcodes allowed, this is a secret location.
The precise location of the UK's only sturgeon farm is a closely guarded secret.
And there he is. Okay, come this way.
And the owner is Ken Benning.
You must be Ken.
Yes, I am indeed. Climb down.
Secret location.
Yeah, it is pretty secret.
Why? Why all the secrecy?
Well, why the secrecy? Because basically, we don't want too many people coming and playing around with fish and that sort of thing, so...
Is this where we're going to catch the fish?
No, no. Unfortunately, in England, you are not allowed to have sturgeons in open water. So
Really?
our fish are actually further down in the farm.
So can we see some?
We can go and see some.
British sturgeon are all but gone, and it's illegal for the non-native Siberian variety that Ken farms to live in UK rivers. So his are kept in fresh water from this river.
Look at this. A fish farm in a secret location.
And in charge of all 20,000 sturgeon is Patrick Noble.
Patrick? Kate, how are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
The fish in this pool are 2 years old.
They're coming right up to us. Wow, what an incredible fish. They look like dinosaurs of the deep. How do I hold it? Just like this?
Yeah,
He's not gonna...
it probably is going to wriggle.
Right, okay. Okay, like that?
Yeah.
Look at him. Oh. Oh my word. Oh, he is eyeing me up.
Siberian sturgeon, unlike the beluga, reach sexual maturity quite a bit earlier and start producing eggs at between 8 and 10 years old.
Oh my goodness. Okay, this boy, he's pretty strong.
Well, it could be a girl.
you're only interested in the girls. You want the eggs, that's all you're interested in.
We have got a market for the meat as well from the males, so, you know, we don't just ditch them.
Look at that face.
Later, Kate meets the mother of all sturgeon.
Holy boom balls!
Next up, whiskey.
You might think I'm a bit stupid, really, but what gives whiskey that whiskey flavour?
On the box, it says loads of things like subtle hint of marzipan and chocolate. So what, do you put all those things in there?
I'm not sure, to be honest.
It turns out that there's plain caramel, which is blended into the whiskey.
So the caramel gives its flavour?
The germination of barley gives it its rich flavour.
Ah, it makes your frisky whiskey.
I'm not getting anywhere on this one, but I know a man who'd be happy to oblige.
Tomorrow I'm going to get up very early and I'm going to fly to Scotland, obviously the home, the spiritual home of whiskey, to find out exactly what goes into this and what gives it its unique flavour. Yeah, ain't life tough, eh?
Matt's come to the banks of the River Spey in the Highlands of Scotland.
This is what I've come to see. This is proper Scotland. This is whiskey country. And now I need to find out how they make the stuff.
Matt's visiting one of the most famous distilleries, Glenfiddich.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Matt?
Nice to meet you.
Nice
Jennifer.
to meet you.
Jennifer Proctor is senior guide here at the distillery.
This is great.
Whiskey is made by fermenting barley, then refining the alcohol using these giant stills.
So what's this coming out here?
That's what will become whiskey.
It doesn't look like whiskey, it looks more like vodka.
It's going to take all of its colour and about 60 to 70% of its flavour from the casks that we're going to use.
Really?
Yeah.
So a large part of what becomes whiskey and what we know whiskey to be is going to come from the barrel?
Yeah, like Disney.
Yeah. Wow. I like it here.
It's good, isn't it?
God, there's a lot of whiskey sat here.
The same clear spirit goes into each and every barrel, and it's the barrels that add the colour to the whiskey. Surprisingly, they add up to 70% of the flavour, which is helped along because the barrels have been used before.
So that's from a sherry cask.
Yeah. That looks like sherry.
Really rich, really dark colours.
And this one is an ex-American bourbon cask.
Got a difference.
So it's much lighter in colour.
Yeah, look at that. I mean, these are entirely different drinks, aren't they? So the difference between that and that is purely based on the barrel that it's sat in. Really?
Yeah.
The contents of these second-hand barrels will eventually be blended together, water added, and aged for at least 12 years before being bottled.
This is where the magic sort of takes over a little bit. You could have all of these casks here maturing for the same length of time, but what's going on inside each one will vary hugely from one to another.
Matt's in Scotland, discovering what gives whiskey its world-famous flavour.
Those barrels. Look at that.
Turns out it's mostly to do with the second-hand barrels the whiskey's aged in.
Hello there.
Good morning.
Nice
I'm
to meet you.
Andrew Russell.
Andrew Russell recycles mainly American bourbon casks for the Scottish distilleries.
That's amazing. How many you got here?
We've probably got around 70,000.
Jeez.
Those are ex-bourbon bottles which have come in from Kentucky.
So what is it about the barrel that gives whiskey its flavour?
The oak itself will give off flavours.
Always oak?
Scotch whisky law says that it has to be oak. A little it depends on the type of heat treatment it's had, whether it's been toasted or charred. The toasting releases flavours from the wood. It kind of almost cracks open the surface.
When you say toast, you mean basically set fire to it? So?
Yes.
Can I see that?
Yes, we can go and see that, right?
Good. Is it warmer?
It is a bit warmer. This cask is ready for charring. If you want to grab it, we'll put it onto one of these fires.
This charring or toasting process exposes the fresh oak, releasing the natural flavours of the wood and the bourbon that was aged in the barrel back in Kentucky.
What sort of temperatures are going through that?
It can be 450 degrees Fahrenheit.
Really? Look at that. Get your little camera. That's lovely. You can smell the kind of whiskey fumes through it as well.
After the barrels have been charred, they are renovated by a team of craftsmen. Their impressive speed might have something to do with the fact that they are paid per barrel.
This is the finished article.
Okay, it is fair to say that there's a lot more going on in the barrel, simply just the vessel that holds the whiskey.
The cask is extremely important to the whiskey making process. Speaking from a cooperage point of view, the cask is the most important.
Back to honey. It's already been used in hospitals to fight MRSA, so the bees that are making this honey must be pretty special. I'm in Cornwall to meet the only Manuka honey makers in the UK.
Hi there.
CJ and Alice are in charge of the beehives here on the Tregothan estate.
Right, lovely to meet you. Now, I'm here to talk about your bees and your honey, but particularly the Manuka honey. How is it made? Is it the particular bees that you're using, or is it the flowers they're getting the nectar from?
It's the nectar properties of the flower. So let's go and have a look at some.
Yeah, brilliant.
The bees here feed on specially cultivated Manuka bushes, which are native to New Zealand.
Just looks like a big hedge.
Yes.
What's so special about this plant then? Obviously, it hasn't got any flowers on at the moment.
It will flower typically June, July. It has a wonderful smell.
Well, I recognise that.
It's a tea tree.
It's tea tree?
Yes.
The tea tree oil?
Yes.
So it's the tree that's the secret then, is it?
Yes.
In fact, the word Manuka is Maori for the tea tree bush. It's part of the same botanical family as the Australian tea tree plant, which is where we get our antiseptic tea tree oil from.
Tea tree has that antibacterial quality, and Manuka honey is known around the world to be a really good quality honey, but I never sort of put the two together. I want to see the bees. Can we see the bees?
Let's
go.
These hives contain more than 40,000 bees.
This is obviously for protection. Oh, this is quite tight. I can't stand up.
Do we need longer legs?
Don't squeak.
Oh, CJ, I think mine's shrunk the watch. CJ. Now, as long as I don't have to bend down picking it up, I'll be all right.
This is mature honey.
That's right.
That's the stuff that you want.
In fact, these bees are rather ordinary. They make honey just like any other honeybee. But the difference is the pollen they gather from the Manuka flowers is stuffed with antibacterial properties, which is directly transferred into the honey.
I love the magic, how one little insect collects that nectar, and then the result is Manuka honey that has got unbelievable properties.
Manuka seems to have impressive bacterial busting qualities. Now, I happen to have a tickly cough coming on, so should I be swigging back the Manuka?
Hi there.
Hi.
I'm Jimmy, nice to see you.
Nice to meet you, Jimmy.
Yeah, a little bit of sore throat, a bit raspy the other day.
Let me just have a quick look in there.
Dr. Caroline Beardsmore from Leicester University is an expert in immunity and infection.
By taking something like this Manuka honey, if I have that on some toast, or maybe mix it in with a hot toddy and drink that, will it help me get over colds and flus? Will it stop them?
The evidence is not there. If you took Manuka honey with some hot lemon or however you like it, it might soothe your throat, but it wouldn't do very much because most coughs and colds are caused by viruses.
Right.
And the main effect of honey is against bacteria. But it wouldn't do you any harm, and if it made you sleep better at night, then by all means.
Could I use any honey for that? Because Manuka honey is pretty expensive.
It is expensive. I would suggest you seek out your local beekeeper and buy honey from him or her.
I mix honey with whiskey and it makes me feel incredible.
Have you tried the whiskey without the honey?
Same effect.
I rest my case.
Kate's at a secret sturgeon farm in Exmoor, where over 20,000 precious Siberian sturgeons are being nurtured until they're old enough to start producing eggs for our bleenies.
Well, these are some of the big old girls.
The females in this tank are about 10 years old and are ready to be processed.
How do you know that these girls are heavily pregnant with eggs?
We do a little biopsy on them, take a sample of their ovary to check whether the eggs are ripe or not.
Do they know what's happening?
I don't think so.
You don't think they're thinking, oh no,
Curtains.
Pat's coming with a net, he's coming for my eggs. Holy boom balls! Oh my word!
The fish are humanely killed before their eggs are harvested.
Okay, so this is the fish that we just saw swimming about in the tank out there.
Slip this up here to there. Then we open up, and here you can see this is the ovaries here.
Oh my goodness, that is incredible. All of this is eggs?
Yes, about 10% of the body weight, on average, is eggs.
I never ever expected you to open her up and to see that. That's a phenomenal amount of eggs, isn't it? So I can eat these eggs straight.
If you'd like to.
I mean, this caviar, this is the freshest you're ever going to get.
You're not going to get any fresher.
Okay. Ah, that is incredible. It tastes like fish, but just slightly, but it's just buttery and nutty. Delicious. What happens to the rest of the fish?
We'll just take the heads off, remove the remainder of the guts, and then they'll go for smoking.
Pat and Ken sell smoked sturgeon steaks to specialty food suppliers, but before the caviar can be sold, the eggs or roe are washed and filtered to remove any ovary tissue.
So there you've got all your clean eggs. How much is in there? What do you reckon?
There's probably about 400 or 500 grams in there.
Okay, so how much is that worth?
500 grams was about £1,000.
I'm holding £1,000 worth of caviar.
Yeah, retail value,
No way!
Yeah.
No wonder this is a secret location. I mean, you don't want anyone rolling up here and pinching your eggs, do you?
No, not really, no.
And that's 10 years of your hard
Exactly,
work,
yeah.
rearing a fish.
Yeah, it doesn't want to be any cheaper, that's for sure.
The roe is salted, creating the finished delicacy.
It's taken that glorious sturgeon 10 years to generate these. I tell you what, Ken, I think, and I'm going to spread the good word of your British caviar. I'll just take this with me. Yeah? I'll see you later, yeah?
See you later.
All right.